This week on the agenda, the future of tourism. We'll speak to ministers from Greece and Saudi Arabia on the changing face of travel. 5 years after the COVID pandemic, which devastated the industry, tourism is now back on its feet. But concerns about over-tourism and the impact of climate change are forcing the sector to look at new ways of operating. But what does that look like in practice? I spoke to Olga Kefalogianni, Greece's tourism minister, to find out more. Things are looking good for Greek tourism, aren't they? I mean, you've said that you expect 2025 to be exceptionally good. Why is that?
Well, Greek tourism is blooming. We had a record year in 2023. We broke that record in 2024. And, it looks like 2025 will be an exceptional year. I mean, the first signs look really good. So we really expect that tourism will continue blooming. In a country where tourism actually represents almost 20% of the GDP in terms of direct and indirect contribution. So you can understand what that means for the Greek economy.
Strong, competitive, sustainable, that's your vision, isn't it, for Greek tourism? So what needs to change?
Well, first of all, we have to make sure that future generations will be able to enjoy our beautiful country. So sustainability is actually a horizontal policy in all our policies. So we start with sustainability as a criterion for everything that we do. Because it's, of course, really important for people to visit our country and to enjoy our country, but at the same time we need to find the correct balance when it comes to local communities and the infrastructure. So we have to make sure that both visitors and residents alike are able to be in Greece and enjoy their time, either if they are there as residents or if they're just visiting for a few days.
Now, 2024 was the hottest year on record in Greece, in the summer, but also in the winter too. You had those wildfires that reached the outskirts of Athens. What's the impact of that heat, of extreme weather on Greek tourism?
Well, first of all, let me just say that we've had some extreme conditions in certain days within the year, but it wasn't like a period of extreme heat. So we have had heat waves in the past as well. I mean, I even remember like in the 1980s that we had heat waves. And the thing is that right now, because of the climate crisis, it seems like we all need to take action. So this is why, first of all, we are monitoring what is happening. So we have set both an observatory for sustainable tourism and also an observatory for coastal and maritime tourism for the Eastern Mediterranean. So we are monitoring the conditions in order to be able to adjust our policies. So I think it's important always, whatever we do, to be evidence-based. So monitoring is always a very important tool. Then, of course, we have adapted our policies just in order to be able to disperse tourism activity throughout the year and also throughout the country. Because, of course, you understand that we have some very popular destinations and that everybody wants to visit these particular destinations. But there are lesser known but equally beautiful destinations within Greece. And, of course, if we are able to attract visitors in other destinations, this would enable us to make better use of the infrastructure and also to benefit local communities and relieve, let's say, the stress on other communities. So I think the most important thing is to have an equilibrium, to have a balanced approach, and of course to have as a prime goal to preserve the natural and the cultural heritage of Greece.
I am interested to hear a little bit more, though, about the observations that you're doing, in terms not just about what Greece can learn, but also maybe the rest of Europe, because you have got the first chief heat officer in Athens. And I'm wondering if you think that other cities around the country, maybe other cities around Europe, might take that up as well. So as well as being reactive to these extreme weather events, you can be a bit proactive in putting the right measures in place first.
Well, I think that that's the most important element, being proactive. This is why our Prime Minister, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, has set a special ministry devoted to civil protection and climate crisis. And this is important because we are actually, we haven't set the plans both for how to have all the precautionary measures not to have any crisis, but also to be able to react very effectively in case such crises occur. This was the case with the wildfires in Rhodes back in the summer of 2023, where, if you remember, we had to evacuate almost 30,000 visitors in a matter of 3 hours. And that was done very effectively. Nobody was in any way hurt, so everybody was safely moved to other locations. And I think that this shows that, okay, crises can actually occur, but the really important thing is being able to handle these crises very effectively.
Let's talk a little bit more about making Greece that all-year-round destination. You've hinted a little bit there about it. It's not just a place for summer holidays. So how are you doing that? What incentives are out there for businesses, for communities? What are you doing?
Well, I understand that Greece, of course, is associated with beautiful summers and the beaches and the island vacation, but there's so much more to Greece, and this is what we're trying to promote. But also, we're trying to build more the infrastructure in order to attract visitors in other destinations and attract visitors for other experiences. So. First of all, we're trying to extend the season, and we have been very successful in doing so. We have had a record year last year in 2024, not just in the whole year, but we had a record when it comes to the first 5 months of the year, from January to May, and then October and November, which shows that people are starting to choose Greece as their destination outside the summer season. We are also trying to promote new experiences, so focusing more on thematic tourism. So we have amazing gastronomy, we have wine tourism, and then on the other side we have wellness and spa tourism. We are trying to promote more yachting and diving, and we are also allocating funds for the upgrade of our winter resorts. Because believe it or not, we have some amazing ski resorts and mountainous areas which are really beautiful. The natural beauty is there, and I know there are a lot of people who would love to visit, not just for skiing, but also for the adventure in the mountains. And there's always like an amazing cultural site nearby, and the opportunity to combine it with the visit in a winery. So, in effect, one can visit Greece outside the summer months and have different experiences depending on their likes.
Now, you've tantalised us with that figure of 20% of GDP being attributed to tourism. But let's talk about numbers. How much is Greek tourism worth? What does it mean in terms of jobs and where the growth is going to come from next?
Well, it's not just that it contributes to the Greek economy. So the direct contribution, it's almost 8%, but then we also calculate the indirect contribution because tourism, of course, affects a lot of other sectors of the economy. So this is why we are saying that it's almost 20% of contribution to the GDP when it comes to the indirect contribution as well. But it's really important as a job generator, and we are really trying to upgrade our tourism education, our vocational training. We're trying to provide programs for upskilling and reskilling of employees in the tourism sector. And of course, it's always a very important sector for investment. We have seen a lot of investment these past 10 years in the field of tourism, and a lot of interest, not just from traditional, let's say, Greek investors, because we have a lot of Greek hoteliers, which are very knowledgeable, let's say, of the sector and the subject, and they have also invested a lot when it comes to their own offering. But we have also seen a lot of international, very well-known brands sharing an interest in investing in Greece. And this is very positive because, of course, attracting investment and having international investors coming in for tourism is extremely positive.
But I want some numbers. You've talked about percentages here, but how many billions of dollars are we talking about here, and what's the potential?
Well, for Greece, having 22 billion as a revenue from tourism, the direct revenue each year, is of course a very big contribution. And the important thing is that it not only gives this push to the Greek economy as a whole, it's a way also to be able to give to the local economies as well. So the contribution of tourism is also very well seen when it comes down to the local economies, to the local communities. And I think that this is equally important. Then when it comes to investment, we have seen that in the past 10 years, we have had twice as many five-star hotels as we did 10 years ago.
So let's talk about those visitors and where they're coming from, because China is a hugely important market, isn't it, for Greece and for the tourism sector. Have you noticed a change since China reopened post-COVID?
Well, we have had the opportunity to welcome a lot of visitors from China, and the important thing for us is that actually they are visitors who would like to come to Greece outside the main season, and this is why you would see a lot of visitors from China in various locations in Greece, even in the month of February. And it's also important for us that they are interested in our cultural offering. Of course, Greece is the cradle of Western civilization, and I think that this makes it really attractive to Chinese visitors who are on their own side, let's say that those that have built the Eastern civilization. So I think that it's in a way really interesting to explore Western civilization being in Greece, and we see a lot of Chinese visitors really trying to have this experience, the cultural tourism experience, and we are really trying to get the numbers up.
And what about Greeks visiting China? Because I understood that you are now part of the visa-free program.
Well, that's also interesting because, of course, now we have direct flights. We have a new direct flight, Shanghai-Athens, Athens-Shanghai. So this actually makes it interesting for both countries to exchange, let's say, visitors. And I think that direct flights really, really help in increasing the number of visitors from both sides.
You mentioned digital innovation being really important to tourism growing and visitors being more informed. So how is technology really changing the picture, do you think, for tourists? I know you've got this new app, the digital app, and you're using AI to give visitors more information, a digital travel companion. So what's the thinking behind that?
Well, first of all, I think that digital technology is everywhere. And when it comes to traveling and tourism, we feel that it's a part of the experience both before, during and after the travel. So you use it before just to be informed about the offering and the different destinations and the experiences that you can have. Then during your travel, of course, you need to have information about what to do when you are in the destination itself. And then it's also important to be able to, let's say, have the contact after the visitor has been in the destination. So we're trying to use the digital tools in all, let's say, phases of the visit. We have a lot of returning visitors in Greece, but we also really like to have the comments about the experience and how we could also make the experience for everyone better. So I think it's also important to keep in touch.
We've been talking about all the positive aspects of the tourism sector, the growth that you're hoping for, the experience for visitors. But there are some environmental drawbacks. Of course, we've talked a little bit already about the ravages of climate change, but some Greek islands struggle with over-tourism. There have been protests in Athens, as one city, just as one example. How much of a priority will that be for your team to tackle?
Well, to be very honest with you, we don't really have concerns of over-tourism, and we're trying to make sure that if we see that there are certain destinations where at certain periods of time we have, let's say, an over-concentration of visitors, we adjust our policies just to make sure that people and visitors are dispersed more evenly throughout Greece. This is why we are trying to promote other destinations. This is why we're trying to promote Greece as a destination, not just for the summer season, but also for the whole year. And I think that even Greeks would be very positive when it comes to tourism. I don't think that we have the same sentiment that we have seen in other countries. Greeks understand how important it is to be a country that is able to welcome visitors, and what this contributes both to the economy and the society. And I think that the hospitality is actually inherent in the Greek people. You would have Homer back in the 8th century BC talking about how important it is to welcome visitors. So I think we have to make sure that Greeks always welcome visitors in the way that we have known for many years. And we just want to make sure that we have the balanced approach, just to make sure that the visitor experience is what it should be.
So while sustainability is clearly part of your goals for the tourism sector, you say it is really important to get that balance right.
Yes, I think it's important to get that balance right, and it's important both for local communities to be able to actually get the positive impact of tourism, while on the other hand being able to enjoy their everyday life. But it's also important for the government to introduce policies and be a little bit proactive, as I said before. So we have already introduced, in collaboration with the Greek Hoteliers Association, this new way of classifying hotels in terms of their sustainability practices. So their energy consumption, their waste management, water management. And this will be like a world, we would be like pioneers globally, having this classification system based on sustainability criteria. So I think this is really important, that we are there before things turn more difficult. We're trying to be proactive rather than reactive. And I think that this is what makes Greece, let's say, right now, in a good position when it comes to tourism, because our aim is to balance the positive contribution while, on the other hand, making sure that we preserve the natural and the cultural environment of our country.
You have the vision, there are policies in place and more to come to realise your ambitions. Where could the potential headwinds come from?
There are always challenges, and of course tourism is a sector which is affected by all sorts of external conditions. So of course I think that it's important for us as a Ministry of Tourism to make sure that we incorporate sustainability criteria and to have a very resilient sector. But of course we always need to be able to react to new challenges, And given the current global situation, actually you never know where these challenges will come from. So it's important to be there and be able to really react very effectively when these challenges come up.
Well, that's the now. Now we need to get out your crystal ball and throw your vision to the future. What do the next 10 years look like? What's your outlook for Greek tourism sector?
Well, I think that it's important actually to preserve the authenticity of Greece. I think this is what has made us a very attractive destination throughout the years. So being able to provide authentic experiences, being able to really provide the Greek hospitality, which we are renowned for, the amazing gastronomy, using local products, so combining, let's say, tourism with our agricultural products, and now also wine tourism, which is growing. I see the future in a way of making sure that what has made us attractive up to now, so our significant past, is preserved in a very contemporary way, just to be able to attract future visitors in the way that we are attractive right now.
Olga Kefalogianni, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We hope to see you in Greece soon.
As the travel sector continues to grow, emerging travel hotspots are looking to attract a different type of tourist. One such destination is Saudi Arabia, now hoping to appeal to people from around the world beyond just pilgrims to Mecca. I spoke to the country's tourism minister, Ahmed Al Khateeb, to find out how they're going about it. OK, well, look, despite economic, geopolitical and climate challenges, people are travelling again. We're almost back to pre-pandemic levels in the tourism sector. And what does that mean for an economy like yours?
It is very important. We are very happy to see people are traveling again after COVID. The growth in the global economy created a huge, massive demand in the last 3 years, especially from China and India, where millions of people are emerging from the low-income segment to the middle-income segment, and they started to travel. It is expected the number of travelers to double in India from 40 million to about 80 million by 2032. And therefore, the emerging markets are demanding more. And for us in Saudi Arabia, travel and tourism is a main pillar of 2030 vision, where we opened up this sector back in 2019 for people to come and explore the beauty and the culture and the welcoming nation in Saudi Arabia, and to further diversify our economy and make it more resilient. And therefore, tourism for us in Saudi Arabia is very, very important.
Yep.
We have a lot to succeed. We have the mountains in the south, the beautiful beaches at the Red Sea, untouched virgin. It is amazing for people to come and explore it. We are investing heavily in the sector to build new destinations, and therefore, for us in Saudi Arabia, travel and tourism is very, very important. And we want to take it from about 5% of our economy to 10% by 2030, which is the global average.
Let's talk about where your tourists are coming from, because China is a really important market for Saudi Arabia, isn't it?
China is a very important market. Europe is a very important market. And there is a segment who are traveling to Saudi Arabia to practice their religious duty and to visit the two holy cities, Mecca and Medina.
Yeah.
And therefore, and we are enriching our offering by attracting more sports activities like the Super Italian and Super Spanish and the Rally Dakar and the final boxing and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
We are building and enriching our content for the future travelers, especially the younger generation, to come and enjoy the vast and attractive offering by the country.
You mentioned sports. Where does sport fit into the broader plans for Saudi Arabia's tourism sector? You've got WTA tennis,
got the World Cup.
Yeah. It is important, the travelers travel for many reasons, for culture, as I said, for history and heritage, and for wellness and sport and many other activities or purposes. And therefore, we knew that sport is important, and it helped people and fans and to come and enjoy our very sophisticated and well-advanced infrastructures, whether airports or stadiums or we started with many sports activities in the car racing, for example, Formula E, the electronic version, Formula One and Jeddah, and final boxing. This is a very big event, heavyweight boxing. Golf, we are expanding the golf. We attracted many international famous players like Ronaldo and others, and people are traveling to watch these famous players, and the Saudi League became an important league, and also other sports like Rally Dakar and many other sports. And therefore, we believe people, especially the younger generations, the future travelers, they love to travel and enjoy the sports, in Saudi Arabia. And this spending creates jobs, and these jobs go to the younger people and go to the women. 45% of the workforce, of the almost 1 million workforce in the travel and tourism in Saudi Arabia, are women. And therefore, it is a very good industry for jobs that is created for women.
So it's tick, tick, tick on all of those things. But I know something else that is also key to what you're doing in Saudi Arabia is sustainability. So what measures are in place to make sure that the push to grow the sector is as green as possible?
Sustainability is a very big issue in our industry globally. People travel to enjoy the treasures, the nature. If we don't protect the nature, people will not travel in the future, and therefore we have to make sure the growth will happen in the travel and tourism in the next 10 years at global level will really respect and protect the environment. We look at sustainability in Saudi Arabia from three lenses: the environmental sustainability, social sustainability, and economical sustainability. 60 million people lost their jobs during the pandemic. This is a social sustainability. We want to make sure that the small and medium jobs are protected, businesses are protected. We want to make sure that the women jobs are protected. Therefore, sustainability in the travel and tourism is very, very important. We realized this from day one. We decided to open up our treasures, especially the Red Sea and the mountains in the south that have not been touched to the global travelers. We want to make sure that what we build respect the environment, and during the operation, we do respect the environment.
Ahmed Al Khateeb, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You can watch every episode of The Agenda in full on CGTN Europe's YouTube channel. And for exclusive extra content from me, my guests and the rest of the team, don't forget to check out @The Agenda Show on TikTok. Coming up on a future agenda, should the world fear China? We'll speak to author Zhu Bo about his new book. But for now, from me, Juliet Mann, and from all the Agenda team here in London, goodbye.